Padawans, it's Mrs. Angel with your lesson for today on perimeter and area with binomials. And I know what you might be thinking. What the heck is a binomial? A binomial is an expression that has two terms. So we're going to be looking at rectangles where the length and the width are both two-termed expressions. And that doesn't change anything for perimeter, but it definitely changes the way that we do our area. So grab those notes and let's get started.
So let's do a quick review of how to calculate the perimeter and the area of a rectangle. So perimeter is the distance around. So to find the perimeter, you're basically adding up the two lengths of the rectangle, length, and the two widths of the rectangle, width and width. It's the full distance around the shape. The area, however, is everything inside. And so to calculate the area, you'll notice that you are multiplying the length times the width. Keep this in mind as we start to look at today's examples. All right, example 1. So we have a rectangle, and it appears that our length is x plus 5, and our width, or sometimes called our height, is x plus 2. So the first thing that I'm going to do is fill in the other two side lengths of this rectangle. So I know that if the length on the top is x plus 5, the length on the bottom is also x plus 5. And if the width on the right is x plus 2, then the width on the left is also x plus 2. And that's the most commonly made mistake in perimeter, is to forget about those other two. So let's set it up. So that's length, that's x plus 5 plus x plus 5 plus width, x plus 2 plus x plus 2. So whenever you're dealing with perimeter, notice that we are adding here. So whenever you have an expression with addition, you're always looking to combine like terms. Go ahead and simplify the perimeter now. Okay, now let's look at the area. So area is the length times the width. So let's fill in what we know. The length here is x plus 5. The width is x plus 2. Now we would normally distribute this, but here's the problem, is that this outside is not a single term. So I know what you're probably thinking. You're like, can I just multiply the 5 by what's inside the parentheses? Well, no, you have to multiply everything in that length by everything in the width. And this will require some different math that we haven't looked at yet. So let's look at how we can actually simplify this multiplication to find the actual area. First thing I'm going to do is put those parentheses around the first one. Again, you're not just multiplying 5 by x plus 2, you're multiplying x plus 5 times all of x plus 2. So the first method is called double distribute. So if I write out my product here, essentially double distribute means I'm going to apply the distributive property twice. So I'm going to distribute x to the second binomial, and I'm going to distribute 5 to the same binomial. So first, we're going to multiply x by x plus 2. So that's just x times x plus 2. Now I'm going to take that positive 5 from the first expression and also multiply it by the second expression. So that was our first distributing. Now we have to distribute again because there's still some simplifying to do here. But this distribution is a lot simpler. Now I just look at this as, oh, all I have to do is do the distributive property with x and the distributive property with 5, and then all my parentheses will be gone, and this becomes a lot simpler. So let's take a look at that. X times x is x squared. X times 2 is 2x. 5 times x is 5x, and 5 times 2 is 10. Now, once I'm down to this final expression, I do want to make sure that there's no other math that I can do. Do you see any other math that could be done here? Hopefully you said yes, because I see a positive 2x and a positive 5x, which means I can combine those. That would be 7x's. So these two can combine into a single term 7x, and everything else can just come down. And that's all that I can do. This is the expression that I have for area. Nothing else can be done here. The second method is sometimes called the box method, or I like to call it the window method. So what you're going to do is you're going to create a box. So just create any old box. Hopefully it looks better than that. And then you're going to actually break it up into a window. See? So look at, you have a window there. Now, if we recall, I'm going to move this window over a little bit. Our expression was so what we're going to do is take one of the expressions, one of the binomials, let's say x plus 5, and we're going to write that along the top of the window. Put x in the first frame and plus 5 in the second frame. Then we're going to take the second binomial, the second expression, x plus 2, and we're going to put it along the side of the window. X plus 2. Now, in this method, essentially what you're doing is you're finding the area of each individual square. So let's start with the first one. X times x is x squared. So that area is done. 5 times x is a positive 5x because that's a positive. X times 2 is a positive 2x. And 5 times 2 is a positive 10. So now we need to pull all these terms out of the window. And while we do that, I like to look for like terms. You might notice you see that positive 5x and that positive 2x. When I pull those out of the window, I'm actually going to combine those. So here we go. Let's pull everything out of the window. The first term I see is the x squared. Then I'm going to actually combine this 5x and 2x, which we know 5x and 2x makes 7x. And then the final part in the window is the plus 10. And that's the expression for our area. Now, you might notice that it is the exact same expression that we got when we used double distribute. That should be the case because they're just two different methods to do the same exact math. Let's try another one and see which one you prefer. Okay, example 2. X plus 2 by x minus 3. Go ahead and find the perimeter first. For my area, this is going to be a little bit trickier. I'm going to put in both of my expressions, x plus 2 and x minus 3, and I'm going to put those parentheses around the first binomial, around that first expression, so that I know I have to multiply everything. Now let's go to the next screen and actually simplify using both methods. So why don't you first try doing double distribute on your own, and then go on in the video to see how I did it. All right, let's see how you did. So the first step is to take the first binomial, that x plus 2, and we're going to break it up into its two terms and distribute them both to the second binomial. Now we can go in and actually distribute. Now, are there any like terms? Absolutely. We have a negative 3x and a positive 2x. So what's negative 3x plus positive 2x? That would be negative 1x or just negative x. So bring down the rest. You have x squared minus x minus 6, and there is our area. Now we know what the area is from doing double distribute. Try doing the box method on your own, and then make sure that it's the same as what we just got. Great, let's see how you did. So we're going to start by taking the first binomial and placing it on the top of our window. Then we're going to take the second binomial and place it on the side of our window. So we have our length and we have our width. Now we're just going to find the area of each square. So starting off with x times x, we get x squared. A positive 2 times x is a positive 2x. X times a negative 3 is a negative 3x. And a positive 2 times a negative 3 is negative 6. Now let's pull all of the terms out of the window. So I see x squared, and then again, I see some like terms that can be combined. How about that 2x and negative 3x? That's a negative 1x, and then pull out the negative 6. And there is your area. The area of that rectangle was x squared minus x minus 6. Okay, last one we do together, and then I'll show you your challenge problem. So go ahead and find the perimeter now. Great job. Now we're going to set up our expressions for area. And we're going to put parentheses around that first binomial, that first expression, so that we know to multiply both in the parentheses. So let's move on to the next slide so that we can see how to do this using double distribute and the box method, or the window as I like to call it. So go ahead, on your own, try simplifying the expression, multiplying the two binomials using double distribute, and then go on to see the actual answer. Let's see how you did. Step 1, set up your first distributing. Step 2, do your double distribute. Negative times a negative is a positive. That's going to switch to addition. All right, step 4, do we have any like terms? Absolutely. We have a negative 4x and a negative 3x. And so a negative 4x and a negative 3x can combine to a negative 7x. Bring down the first term, bring down the last term, and there's the expression for our area. All right, try now the same expression using the box method. Great. First step, set up your box or your window or whatever you want to call it. Second step, find the area by multiplying everything together. Notice how that last term became a positive because you're multiplying two negatives. Finally, pull all the terms out of the window and look for some like terms. And there you have it. You have the expression for your area, which matches the one that we did before, just this time using a different method. All right, I'm going to leave you with this one. It is a bit of a challenge because now we have coefficients. Find the perimeter and the area of this rectangle on your own now. So your teacher is going to go through that answer with you. For now, let's do a recap. As we recall, the perimeter is always the two lengths plus the two widths. And the area is always the length times the width. But you have to be careful. If your length and your width both have two terms, you're going to want to put some extra parentheses around them to make sure that you're actually multiplying. When we're simplifying expressions with perimeter, we're always combining like terms. And then when you're simplifying area and the length and the width both have two terms, you can either double distribute or do the box method, which I like to call the window. Now, we did both in this video. Going forward, you get to pick the one that you like and just do that every time. That's it for today's lesson. I will see you next time.